to the part 6 of our tutorial, and previously in part 5 I demonstrated how to texture the whole character, and at this part 6, I'm going to demonstrate how to pose our character. So basically, you need to create a bone system before you pose the character. So I'm going to press the shift and letter G on my keyboard to hide that character. Okay, and here you can see a bone system, and creating a bone system takes a lot of time, and it it will take several hours for me to teach you all the basics that we are required to learn but for creating this bone system. So I decided to create a separate video tutorial series for this one, so that we can immediately proceed to posing the character. Okay, and then I am going to press shift and letter G on my keyboard again to show this character again. Okay, and of course, okay, so let's open this file named part 6 posing character in 3D Studio Max. Let's just use this file so that we can proceed on our topic, and you don't have to create a bone system. Okay, so let's select the character and let's go to modify tab, and after you create a bone system, now I'm going to throw the turbo smooth for a while and apply a skin modifier into our character. Okay, and after that, after I applied skin modifier to the character, just click add and select all the bone objects within this within our scene. Okay, and then select, and then after that you have to set a skin weight to all joints, to all the joints of our character, to give it a nice deformation, so that if we animate our character, you can see a nice deformation to it. So for example, here in a our in the part of the arms of our character, let's just select our bone, press F3, and I'm going to select the bone, and press F3 again, and I'm going to rotate that one. And as you can see that it doesn't have a nice deformation just yet, so you have to set each bone and give it a nice proper weights, vertex weights, to give it a nice deformation. But I'm not going to demonstrate this one because it will take us several hours to discuss all that basics. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this process, and to the point that I already applied a nice vertex weights for all the joint parts of our character. Okay, now I'm going to show you the result of finish edits of the skin weights for our character, and this is how it looks like. Okay, as you can see, we have here a nice deformation, and it is also the same at the other parts of our character. So let me undo that one. Okay, so that's the basics of character rigging. Okay, so after rigging, by creating bone system and skinning process, we are now ready to animate our character and pose it to our desired angle. Okay, so let's turn this all into a cut bone so that we won't select the object of the character and we can only select the bone objects instead. Okay, and select one of the bone objects, any of this one would do. Okay, and after selecting the bone object, let's go ahead to motion panel, and in motion panel let's create an animation layer. Hold click this ABS and choose ABS and rename that to T pose, T underscore pose, and create another animation layer, ABS, and rename it to posed. Okay, and we will create animation into this layer. Okay, so you should highlight this into blue. Okay, and now press letter N on your keyboard or just click this auto key and you will see that the uh, viewport canvas edges turns into red color. It indicates that we can now plant an animation key to our animation trackbar. Okay, so to begin with, we can now select the pelvis bone. I want to start in the pelvic bone, and in front view I'm going to rotate that one. So press letter E on your keyboard or press this one, rotate, letter E, shortcut keys for rotate tool, and set the coordinate system to local and rotate that. uh, okay, and rotate this pelvic bone, and let me undo this one. So before we animate this those objects, I forgot to mention that you have to turn on this animation mode toggle. Okay, and that's the time we can move all the objects. Okay, and then the reason why I turned the coordinate system to local is to uh, so that the tools is always aligned to the orientation of the object. Okay, and front view, press F3 and rotate and perspective. Okay, and F3. Okay, all right. As you can see, it's very easy to do moving those objects. Okay, all right, and I think I'm gonna skip this process and jump up to the point where I already posted the character, as I suppose that you already know how to move those objects. Okay, all right, when you are done posing the character, uh, let's animate it from T pose to pose. Okay, so when we scroll this animation track bar, nothing happens into our character. So how we are going to make the character moves? Okay, so instead of animating the character, we should animate the global weight instance. So at the frame 0, I want the global weight of this posed layer to be at 0 value. And as we go through frame 40, I want to increase the global weight to 100% value. Okay, and then when you scroll this animation track bar, you can see now that the global weight value is also already animated, and it's gradually, this layer is gradually taking over the first layer of typos. So we are, if we are in a frame 0, what we are seeing now is uh, pose on the typos on this layer. And as we scroll this up to frame 40, it takes over the first layer of our animation. Okay, so that's how we animate the character. Okay, so next, we can now exit into an animation mode by pressing this auto key, and let's head back to modify tab and select the character, and let's set it back the cut bone to all. Okay, when you are in a, when you're still in a cut bone mode, set it to all so that we can select the object of our character. And then let's apply a turbo smooth modifier and deselect the character, and we can now hide the bone objects. You can just check this one, hide bone objects, by going through display tab, and let's head back to modify tab. And if you check the figure of this character, you will spot some of bad deformation that are happening at some part of our character. So I'm gonna set this realistic to shaded so that we can see more of it. And for example, we have a bad deformation at the neck, as well as the shoulders and other parts of our character. We can enhance more of it by applying modifiers. So let's select the object, and I'm gonna fix the deformation on the neck part of our character. So above this skin modifier, let's apply an edit poly modifier, and right click that one and rename it edit poly or EP underscore neck. And I am going to move those elements and give it some a nice flow or deformation. Okay, you should enter into polygon edge mode so that you can select the edge mode, and you should turn your move tool into a screen coordinate system. Okay, and move it to your desired position. Okay, okay, and after doing that, you can now check on the other parts of the character and apply another separate edit poly modifier so that you want you can avoid messing up with your edit with this with this edit poly modifier. Just apply another edit poly modifier and right click this one and rename, and ep underscore shoulder. Okay, and then do the same process as we did on the neck, and adjust it a little. Okay, until you are satisfied with the form. Okay, okay, and if ever that you did something wrong with your editing, and for example you accidentally distract the your editing. For example, it's too much, you did a too much errors on your editing, for example, and you don't know how to get it back to its right places. You just have to delete that uh, edit poly modifier, and in that way you also avoided deleting your edits on the other parts of the body, such as this neck. Okay, so you should always create another layer edit poly modifier if you want to edit something or you want to change some other parts of your character, so that you can avoid messing up with your previous edits. Okay, so I'm gonna just skip this part and show you the final result of this character. Okay, and here it is. Here's the final edit, and after you are done enhancing the figure, you can now apply a turbo smooth modifier above all of these modifiers. All right, and we are done, and we are now ready for the next part of our tutorial in part 7. So in part 7 I am going to demonstrate how you how will you be able to create a cloud objects into our for our characters using Marvelous Designer. And I'm also going to demonstrate how we are going to import this animated character uh, inside Marvelous Designer, and with this animated character inside Marvelous Designer, uh, we will going to dress her up with those cloud objects, okay, using Marvelous Designer. Okay, so I think see you in the next video, and bye bye for now.